Hello everybody, my name is Zach, aka the Weather Gamer, bringing you some more Pokemon Sword and Shield news, reaction to the trailer that came out today. I literally just got home from work, haven't even finished eating lunch yet, and I turned on my computer and Discord's exploding, there's a new trailer, so I went and watched the trailer. So be warned, this is spoilers for those of you that haven't seen the new trailer and don't want to know anything, any of that. This is spoilers. So turn away now, otherwise we're going to go ahead and start talking about this. So we got some new Pokemon today, and I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to them, and I'll talk about these here in a minute. I guess I actually never talked about, I don't think I ever talked about Yamper and Impidimp either, so I'll talk about them real quick. Yamper, pure electric, looking at its move pool, pretty decent. Could be electric dark if it evolves, that sort of thing. Ball fetch, terrible thing. Only good for catching. So, Impidimp, Dark Fairy makes me think Sableye. Wondering if it's going to get an evolution or not. Could be the new Sableye, especially if it gets like Prankster. One of the things I've noticed is a lot of mons that are being released kind of remind me of old mons with that whole not everything's going to be in the game situation. There's a lot of these mons that remind me of old mons, and like, okay, they're just making replacements instead of coding the old mons into the game. I'm not having that discussion with people. It just leads to a lot of fighting, a lot of anger. Everybody who follows me on Twitter or is part of the Weather Gamer family, link in the description down below. Join the Discord, please. Best place to hang out with me outside these videos, as I always say. Knows my feelings about not every mon being in the game and that, so we're gonna leave it at that. But like, this reminds me of Whimsicott, like Cottony, Whimsicott. Corviknight reminds me of Skarmory, very much so. But Impidimp reminds me of Sableye. Alcrene, I believe is how this one's gonna be pronounced. Alcrene reminds me of Slurpuff. But this thing is Fairy, Sweet Veil, which I believe means evasiveness can't be reduced. I don't remember. It's one of those useless. Or maybe it can't be taunted. Who else has Sweet Veil? Might be it can't be taunted. I don't remember. But it's Fairy type. Whipped cream based attacks. Does get this Giganta Max form, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Roly-Coly, I love the name of this thing. I love the design. I hope it evolves. Like, I hope Roly-Coly just, like, this is like the base form and then it gets bigger and bigger. Gets arms or something like that. Gets another wheel, becomes like a butt. I don't know. I just love it. I really, really do like the design. I hope it gets another evolution or something, because I would love to rock this thing. Get it rock on my team for Sword and Shield. I think it's really, really cool. It's based off a lump of coal. Coal lantern for an eye type of thing. That sort of thing. Really, really cool design. Really, really cool mon. There is Duraludon. I think it's Duraludon. Durable Dragon. This is another really sick design. I love it. I hope, again, I hope this is like, maybe this is mid form, or maybe this is if this is base form, this could be our pseudo right here, our pseudo legendary. This thing is sick. It's very, very clean. I love the design. Dragon Steel, which I believe the only current Dragon Steel type is Dialga, so we get another Dragon Steel type. It's not a legendary. It says it fights with Tyranitar's, which makes sense. This looks like something that would go up against a Tyranitar. Light Metal is good for checking fighting types, because low kick won't do as much. Heavy Metal, vice versa, but Heavy Slam will do a ton more. It was just really, really cool, and I'm really, really excited. I do really want to use this thing. I might end up running double steel because I love Corviknight, and this thing is really, really cool too. So, yeah. I'm not going to say what I was going to say there. I was just going to pick a fight. There's some unknown Pokemon here, like Chairman Ross, and I'm actually going to pull... Let me jump into it here. Original. So this was because okay, thank you. This in the spoilers chat in the Weather Gamer Discord was brought up by Giran. What is this mon in the corner right here? Right below where I'm sitting. I almost put my camera in the wrong spot. Right below where I'm sitting here. Is that Yamper's evolution? Because you see the electric, it looks like an electric bolt tail. Very possible that Yamper is evolving. Sorry, you're looking at me doing that. Is that what this Pokemon is that they didn't give us full reveal? Is Yamper evolving? I'd be interested to see. That'd be pretty cool. So, but that's kind of my hot take on the new Pokemon. I love Roly-Coly. I hope it evolves. I love Darudon. If this is the final evolution, cool. If it gets another evolution, that's even more badass. Cool. I don't really care for Alkareem. Really don't. Impidim's kind of cool. Kind of hoping it evolves. And I hope that its shiny is color swapped. Like this purple everywhere and the pink is just this in the belly. Like that'd make it a 6 shiny. And I really, really, really like it. I do hope it evolves. Yamper, not so good, but again, there's the electric tail. If that's the evolution, that'd be really, really cool. So, then we get into Gigantamaxing, which was called in that leak. So that leak from a while ago, I'm not going to go pull it up. A-Drive, Duncan Knee Deep, they both talked about it in depth. So you can check it out there with them. The guy mentioned Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing, which changes forms. And they mentioned Lapras, Pikachu, Meowth, a whole bunch of other Pokemon that change. That, I think, that leak, everything in that leak is probably true at this point. Because now Gigantamaxing is proven. And that leak came out months ago. So you see Alkareem gets a Gigantamax. It heals your side of the field while obliterating the other side, so it's kind of good in doubles. That looks really, really good in doubles. Corviknight. Oh, this thing is just so sick. It makes me think of Falcon in the Marvel Cinematic Universes, but Corviknight uses its massive wings to craft updrafts, cover in the air while it battles. Its armor on its body has been reinforced. So attacks from Pokemon on the ground barely have any effect on it. Armor on Corviknight's wings to separate and become blade birds, capable of flying independently. Corviknight launches these blade birds at the target, using them to slash at its opponent. Its flying type moves when Gigantamaxing remove Reflect, Light Screen, Spikes, Electric Terrain, which is really, really cool. So it's a way to get rid of, it's basically defog, but does damage. So that's, a lot of this is what's with these G moves, these you see a lot of these G moves are having secondary effects. So you get defog that damages, you get with Dreadnought here, you get a water type move that also sets stealth rocks. So it's making competitive get a little more crazy with Gigantamaxing and that. I could see draft leagues definitely going with, okay, these are your Gigantamaxing captains. Or maybe, since Megas aren't in the game, that Gigantamaxes will have their own separate category. You draft one Gigantamax, that sort of thing. It's something that can be done. I think that's really, really cool. And something that people could do. We get version exclusives now. We're starting to see some version exclusives. We see the Hydreigon line and the Jangmo-O line and Sword. And on the Shield line, we're seeing Tyranitar and Sliggoo. So we know that several of the pseudos are making it, at least Gen 5, 7, 2, and 6 have their pseudo-legendaries in there. I don't know if Dragonite's been mentioned yet. Metagross hasn't been seen yet. Salamence hasn't been seen yet. Who's Gen 4? Garchomp hasn't been seen yet for the pseudos, so... But we're starting to get some version exclusives here. I'm getting both copies of the game, so it doesn't matter to me. Just knowing that these are here, it means I can transfer them forward. So I can bring my Hydreigon from my original white playthrough up. I can bring the Komao that I caught in Sun and Ultra Sun forward. I can bring my T-Tar from Soul Silver forward. I can bring Goodra from X and Y forward, so there's that. We have gym exclusives, so this is new. I don't remember a time where we've had gym exclusives. I remember there being leader exclusives, like in Black and White, you either played Iris or Drayden, depending on which game you had. But I don't remember the gyms being different. They were both Dragon-type gyms. So, someone can correct me if I'm wrong there. But as far as I remember, we've never had different gyms, and we do here now. So, in Sword, you take on the Fighting Leader, which I believe that leak mentioned a Fighting-type leader, and a Ghost Leader, which I don't believe it mentioned. So the Fighting Leader you'll play in Sword, the Ghost Leader you play in Shield. I'm looking forward to this, because I have both games pre-ordered. While I'm still extremely disappointed about the fact that not every Mon's going to be in the game, this makes me a little more excited to play these games. And yeah, that'll be... When I'm done with Sword and Shield, we'll talk about that. But I'm not going to ruin anything right now. So, definitely looking forward to playing both of them. We'll come back to this. So they talk about the gym. So we already knew that Milo was the grass gym leader. Here he's got Eldegoss. We know the water gym leader has Dreadnought. The fighting has Hitmontop. So you have to know that all the Hitmons are going to be in there. I seriously doubt they would only give you Hitmontop. So one has to believe that Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee, as well as Tyrogue, are in this game somewhere. In the decks, Mimikyu survived the snap from Masuda, as everyone likes to call it. So at least Mimikyu makes it. New abilities, so we know Ball Fetch, Yamper, if the Pokemon is not holding an item, it will fetch the Pokeball from the first failed throw. So basically, if you fail on the first ball, you catch it on the second ball, you get your first ball back. Cotton Down, which lowers the speed of a Pokemon that attacks, which is either physical or special. Doesn't matter what the attack is, Cotton Down will lower your speed. And then Steam Engine for Roly-Poly, and this is really, really cool for Roly-Poly. I want to see what Roly-Poly's stats are, but if it's defensive type of thing, where it can take a water hit, or it obviously can take a fire hit, being a rock type, but if it could have the defense to take a water type hit, this thing actually could be pretty damn good, especially if it gets an evolution and that sort of thing, because when you're hit by a fire or a water type move, the speed increases. And so this Roly-Poly is going to be a great check to fire types, resisting the fire type hit and then getting a speed boost off of it. Not so much water types, but still, that's extremely, extremely cool. Giganta Maxing, I think there's nothing there we talked about already. Internet's being slow. Yeah, we talked about that. The new characters. So, Magnolia, Sonia. So we get Chairman Rose. I have a feeling this is your evil leader. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure this is your evil leader, but I'm not 100% certain. Just getting that I'm the bad guy vibe. Like, he hosts the gym tournament, but really it's a ploy. That's my own little speculation there on that. So, hey, it's the D-Doc again. Now, to the Galar region Pokedex. So, some of the stuff that we know. Okay, we already know these are all the new Pokemon that are in there. The Charizard line, the Butterfree line. So I've talked about this in the past. But, yeah, so we know the Tyrogue line is there now officially. It has to be in order for those to be there. So, as far as, like, Draft League competitive, yeah, you still have Hitmonlee. Yeah, you still have Hitmontop, two pretty good ones that are drafted along. I still say there's going to be 2 new evolutions, possibly 3. I'm still going with it. Sylveon, they need to fix this triangle. There needs to be a ground type to check Jolteon. There needs to be a dragon type, or a steel type to check Sylveon. And they might as well do a dragon type while they're at it. I'm just looking for stuff that's new, that's been put in recently. Rain is still viable. There's Ludicolo and Pelipper right there. I'm looking here to see what other ones recently were revealed and added in. Obviously, you could potentially get Hail going. Sand is still viable, just maybe not as viable, maybe a little different. Shy Guy, shoutouts to you. Maractus survived the snap. For some reason, Maractus is making it into Sword and Shield. Don't know why, but it is. I'm trying to think what else made it in there. I think that's... Mimikyu might have been newly confirmed. I know Mew was confirmed, so it's not bad. There's still a lot of mons that I want to see get put in the game. And hopefully hopefully this is a type of situation where, and I'll talk about it now because we're at the end of the video and nobody ever makes it to the end of one of my videos this far anyways, so we'll talk about it a little bit. Not every mon being in the decks. Okay. This is where I have an issue. So, I grew up as a Pokemon collector. I didn't go to tournaments with a Game Boy because my parents didn't take me. I didn't go to my local game I live out in the country. I was isolated. Couldn't take my Game Boy to school because my parents thought I'd lose it. So literally I played Pokemon by myself or with my brother. He and I would battle, but my brother was always better than me. So... he would beat me, and then I didn't want to play with him because he'd gloat, and I just felt terrible because my brother is better at mons than me, or was. He's not anymore. But, so I used to collect them, and I still do, and I have 2 copies of every single Pokemon game out there. The copies that you guys can see, like over there. Those are the ones that I'm playing for YouTube and that. Those are not my original copies. The original copies that I've gotten on release day of every single game are currently locked up in a safety deposit box at my parents' bank because those games have everything from my childhood. Every time, every game, every playthrough, every mon I've caught, every single... it's on those games. And so I don't want those getting destroyed by a fire, getting stolen if my parents' house were to be broken into or whatever, so they're there. Now, I do have software starting with Gen 6 forward, so X, Y, ORAS, Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Now, Sword and Shield will be able to do that because of the Pokemon Home mechanic. Because I used to play the games over and over and over, and I'd trade all the Pokemon to one game and then reset the game and play through it so I could get the version exclusives on both games, so I could get one of every mon, because I have living dexes, and I can show them off sometime if anyone's interested. I have living dexes. Literally, I have living Pokedexes on every single Pokemon game I own, except for the ones that I'm currently playing for YouTube and Twitch. I do not have living dexes on those, but I'm building them on those. Culminating up to moving them all to what I thought was going to be moving them all to Sword and Shield. So, but the software I have lets me clone. I can clone a box at a time, and then I move them to Pokebank, and then I move that box to another game, so I don't have to play the games over and over and over again, and constantly reset every single game. Because the other thing I do is, if a mon comes from that region, I bring it all the way from there. So like my Charizard that's currently sitting on Usum is the first Charizard I ever started playing with, all the way back in Fire Red, when I first started Pokemon. My Sceptile is the same one from Emerald. My Torterra, my Infernape, you guys see where I'm going with this. So I'm able to clone them and move the originals forward and keep the clones back on the old games and that. Plus I keep a copy of them in the Pokebank in case for some reason one of my games ever corrupted, I would not lose my friends. So, yeah. So that's where I'm upset about not every Pokemon being in the game. Because I'm a collector. I have saved every mon from every playthrough since I was... Let's see, when did Fire Red and Leaf Green come out? I can't remember if they came out after Emerald. 2004. Because my very first games were Emerald, Fire Red, and Coliseum. 2004. Yes, I was looking at a walkthrough, but I couldn't remember where something was. So, yeah, Fire Red was my first game, and then Coliseum. So I have every mon since 2015 years, and I'll be 25 when, just before these games come out, or just after these games come out, I'll turn 25. So, for the last 15 years, over 60% of my life, I have had some of these mons with me. And I'm a little mad that I can't bring them all forward because gotta catch them all was the saying of Pokemon, and that's how I used to play, and that was my goal. I mean, obviously Charizard's coming forward. I can bring him forward. There's no issue. You can keep following me on my journey as I go through Galar, but so far my Sceptile can't come. So far, Torterra and Infernape can come. The ones from my childhood, a lot of them are missing and can't come forward. And I'm hoping that with future games that's fixed. And people can hate me for saying this, people can say I'm spoiled, people can say whatever. Honestly, I would rather have a game every 2 or 3 years and have a complete Pokédex than have a game every year that's missing. That's missing Pokemon. That's part of the reason I don't like Let's Go Pikachu. It felt really watered down, it felt really childish. I know these are child games, but for Pokemon that was not good, and that's why I gave up on it. I still haven't gotten very far in it. I'm literally only playing it so I can get to the point where I can get Meltan and go. And we'll call it from there. But yeah, and I really hope, because I'm assuming there's going to be follow-ups to this. There's either going to be Gen 4 remakes, which are long overdue. Long overdue. We haven't had Gen remakes since Gen 6, because Gen 7 never got remakes. That went with them. They got the Ultras instead, like Gen 5 did. So hopefully Gen 4 remakes. And if they do Gen 4 remakes, they're going to have to bring in the entire Dex. So, because Gen 4 covered everything in that dex. So they would have to bring every mon forward, or maybe they release them as Giganta Max raid bosses, or with patches. Just patch the game, because it's not hard to patch the games. Like, there are ways to do it. There are ways where Masuda doesn't have to feel like he's killing himself to death. And I do not... So, hashtag bring back the National Pokedex. I do support that hashtag, but I do not support the people that are... Some of the people that are doing it. There are extremes with that. And this video turned into me ranting over me talking about the new trailer, but... I agree. I do want the National Dex back. I do want to be able to collect them all. I do want to bring my favorites forward. So I agree. We do need the National Dex back. Disagree with me all you want. That's fine. We're each entitled to our own opinions. I'm not going to be mad at you because you think we're fine. I'm not going to hold a grudge against you because you think we're alright. We don't need the entire Dex. Just respect each other, basically. And that's where some of the bring back National Pokedex hashtag, a lot of people are really wrong. They're saying boycott the game, Masuda's evil, yada yada, like way over the top. And that's not the case. At all. At all. The man is doing what he can. He's doing what he can without killing himself. Yes, the models were supposed to be technology proof. Okay, turns out we were wrong. Masuda was wrong. They aren't technology proof. They have to redesign them. Fine. Work on that. Work on redesigning them. Have one person, just have that be their job. Or have 2 or 3 people that rotate around the job while you work on the new games. Because I'm sure they've got more games in the pipeline after Sword and Shield. They're already probably starting on either the sequels or the next gen or the next gen remake. But have some people work on updating the models. Just start slowly, run them gen by gen. Just like start back gen them if you have to, because the gens have all gotten really, really small. 70 to 80 Pokemon type of thing lately. So update all the models for Gen 7, and then patch them in. Update all the models for Gen 6, patch them in. Probably skip Gen 5, because Gen 5 had 156 Mons. That's a lot of patching to do, potentially. And just go to Gen 2, that would be the next smallest, I think. Patch that, bring all the Mons in, that sort of thing. It can be done slowly, and, you know, it allows people to keep, especially if they release them as Gigantamax or Dynamax, not Dynamax bosses in the wild area. That would keep me more involved in the game, because once I beat the game and I collect all the mons that I can, and I beat post-game if there is, I don't shiny hunt, I don't do Wi-Fi leagues, so really there's not a lot for me to do with the game once I do complete the story and catch everything. So run different Dynamaxes, like each month release a batch of 30 new Dynamaxes and a patch, one for each day type of thing. Update the decks, that way you can bring them forward. I'll go catch them in the deck, or catch them and get them in the decks if I have to, and then I'll bring mine forward type of thing. So there's ways to do it, and the big takeaway out of this is don't go harassing Masuda, please. Please be respectful. For the love of God, if you believe in God, please be respectful. Do not just attack the man because of this. Okay? I sent Masuda a very long tweet. Him and Game Freak. And you can go find it on Twitter if you want to find me on Twitter. And I tried to be very respectful about it, and I got my ass chewed by everybody in the world, basically, that disagreed with me. Chewed my ass and was like, you shouldn't have said that, you're just greedy, and it really put me down, but I really don't care what other people think of me. I just respectfully tried to, at least in my mind, be respectful and give my opinion and offer a solution, potentially, the raid boss solution potential. So, just, I don't know, okay? Let's just be decent human beings. Let's respect each other. And realize that this is a child's game that a lot of us grew up in love, a lot of us are growing up loving. And just enjoy it, okay? There's so much other terrible shit going on in the world already. Let's not make this toxic anymore. So, this video kind of went off the rails. It was supposed to just be me talking about the new Pokemon, and instead I talked about the new Pokemon trailer, and then I gave my thoughts on something that had been bothering me for a long time. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please check out the links in the description down below. Luke and Jaden, the two amazing artists that do all the amazing artwork and designing and all that for the Weather Gamer channel and server. Check out the Weather Gamer Discord, best place to hang out with me outside these videos. We do games on the weekends. We just played Smash. We played Cards Against Humanity. We tried to do some Uno, but the game was acting up. There's a lot of different games that we're going to play. Check out Stream down on Twitch. I'm not currently Twitch streaming. I'm about to go in for knee surgery and will not be able to stream for the next couple months probably, but go hit that follow button because when I come back, we're going to go hard. I'm going to do an X, or not an X. I'm going to either play Sword or Shield. I don't know which one yet. Probably Sword. Just through to completion on stream. With me only like taking breaks to sleep. I think that's probably going to be the only time that, or to pee, that'll be the only time that I take a break. You get what I'm saying here. A mini marathon, basically. There's something else down there. I can't think of what else is down there. I don't know. There might be another link down there. I don't know. But check all that out. Yeah, with all that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I just thought of another video I need to record. Now I can't think of what it was. So, see you guys later.